Hello guys, welcome. We're doing a recording here. This is my match with Kurt Weaver from the UK, one of the top amateurs in the UK and a former snooker player. Very good young player. So anyway, we played a match last year. I believe it was in June of last year. We played for £4,000. Or maybe just over, which is around $6,000. We played 30 racks and get ball in hand after the break, playing 9-ball. 9-ball on the spot. You get ball in hand after the break. And try and win as many racks as you can out of the 30 racks we played. So I'm going to commentate on the match itself. So the first rack there. Good break. 2's a bit tied up, so I play the 2 into the bottom right here. I'm going to bump the 6 out, which opens the table up completely. Yeah, maybe I played it in the side pocket. So anyway, whenever you play 9-ball, it don't matter what game you're playing. It's important to get your bad balls out of the way as soon as possible, or attack the problem ball. So that the 6 could have been a potential problem, so it was important to bump that out. Left myself a more trickier free ball because of that, but I know that once I make this free ball here, it opens the game up nicely and it leaves me a pretty routine run out. So the free ball is the key shot. So play this just a touch of, just a little bit of right hand English with top of the cue ball. Just a little bit. Just to make sure that I avoid the scratch there. Landed nicely on the 4 ball, which is the pink ball. And I was going to draw this back maybe 1-2 feet. Yeah, so nicely on the 5 ball. So what we did is that I would play a rack, and then my opponent, which was Kurt Weaver, he would play a rack, and then after his rack, it'd be back to me. So we'll just go back and forth. So we play 30 racks each on our own table. This is the situation we're in right now with the current state of the world. And whoever runs out the most rack from your 30 racks each wins a match. So yeah, always first rack or 2. Even though it's online and you're playing against a ghost, really, it's still quite a bit of nerves there, a bit of tension. Obviously, we're playing for £4,000, so it's important to get off to a good start. It gives you confidence, especially playing against the ghost. So you aren't worried about your opponent, you're just worried about yourself and what's in front of you. There's no safety shots, obviously, so it's all out attacking pull. So here on the 6 ball, probably got the option to leave a bigger angle on the 7 ball, spin it round the tail, but I was nice on the 6 ball here. So I thought, just leave myself just off straight. Just make sure that I'm guaranteed to make the 7 ball. I can't scratch on the 7 ball by drawing back with just leaving that little bit of angle. So as long as I put a good stroke on the 7 ball here, I know that I'll be okay, and I'll draw back for the 8 ball. Okay, just taking my time here. First rack, a little bit nervous. I'll just make sure I put a nice stroke on this, which I did do, yeah. First time I've watched this back, so yeah, I'm happy with that shot. Got hold of the cue ball really nicely there. And with them type of shots there, it's important to try not to power the ball too much. Hit as low as you can on the cue ball. As long as you don't hit the cloth with a cue ball, you'll be okay. You won't miss cue. As long as you time it well, you got a nice loose grip, but aim as low as you can without hitting the cloth first when you're drawing the ball. So that's a good start. Really happy with that. That's 1-0. That's 1 out of 1, let's say, from my side. So this is my rack number 2. So even though the break's not massively important, I think we played a rule where if you do scratch, you lose the rack. I'm not too sure. So the key is to make sure you don't scratch, but at the same time, you still want to break them pretty well. Get a consistent break as possible, so the balls are not getting tied up too much. Again, you get ball in hand. You got the option to have ball in hand. So laid pretty nicely again, I think. And this is my own personal table. I'll be swapping the diamond table soon for a Rasson table, who's my sponsor. I'm looking forward to that. Should be done by the summer. I'll be getting the Hawks table. Yeah, just draw the free ball back a little bit there. Just to leave a slight angle. So I should be able to punch this 4-ball in, come off the side rail. So this will be bottom left on the cue ball here. Yeah, stay in line for the 5-ball, which is very important. You don't want to be moving the cue ball around really unless you need to. So here, just again, I won't try and do anything crazy with the cue ball here. I'll probably just stop it, leave myself a mid-range 6, a dead straight, leave myself straight in on the 6. Don't try and be greedy and draw back for the side pocket when there's no need to. Potentially cause problems for yourself. So same again here, just play a stop shot, maybe a slight draw. Yeah, so just play a stop shot, just make sure that I follow the 6-ball to the pocket with my highs. That's why I keep going over about staying down on the shot. So what I'm doing is that I'm making sure my eyes follow the object ball to the pocket. It just stops me from jumping up. I'll play like a little stun shot there. Just make sure I get eye on the 8-ball. I don't want to be landing straight on the 8-ball. Well, a lot of that much is probably just roll that in. You end up straight, and then you got to do a lot more work with the cue ball. So here, just 1 rail follow. Don't need to play 2 rails there, because if you don't hit it good, you can scratch in the side pocket. So the key is there to just make sure that you land top side of the 9-ball, which I've landed perfect, so even better. But with that shot, you just don't make sure you don't come too far. So that's 2-0, 2 out of 2 racks. Yep, and another good break here. Purposely playing the cut break here because we're playing 9-ball on the spot. So I just want the 9-ball. When I'm cutting the break, I want the cue ball to come from between the middle diamond to really like a diamond before the side pocket, and just get the cue ball just to come out slowly off that side rail. You don't want that white ball flying around. So ball and again, the key really is this shot here. Just make sure that I leave an angle on the from the 2 to the 3. Make sure you leave an angle on the 3 ball, otherwise you leave yourself a lot of work to do, and leave yourself missable shots, which you don't want to do. And there, even though I've landed good on the 3 ball, I didn't play it that way. I played to land the other side of the 3 ball. So I can make the 3 ball and come off the side rail and back over for the 4. But as it is, it's turned out pretty well. So maybe just a bit of adrenaline there on the 2 ball. So this was probably a little, just punch it across there. Wasn't sure of the angle. But again, I probably landed a bit too straight on the 4 ball here. Shouldn't be a massive problem, but I'm a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to positional play. So I probably won't be too happy with this. So just draw it back. Probably not too much. Yeah, just drew it back a little bit further than I wanted. So I hit that nicely. Drew that a couple of feet. Made this shot a lot easier now. So the key here on the 6 is to make sure you leave the right angle. Whatever you do, don't land straight or the wrong side of the 6. So if I'm just where my cue ball, just point where my cue was there, that's where I'd ideally like to land, because then I can just play 1 rail and come just up between the first diamond where the chalk is on the top rail here, and between the 8-ball and that piece of chalk. So, but I know that if I leave too much angle here, I can just draw it across onto the side rail and back over for the 7. Can't remember exactly what I played here, but maybe play this with a lot of inside English on that, a lot of left, just hitting below centre of the cue ball, just killing that cue ball nicely and letting the spin do the work, and I landed perfect. Yeah, this 7 to 8 ball, always a little bit, I don't know, do you land short, do you want to land high, do you land straight? It's not a massive issue. The key is to make sure you probably leave some angle, would be nice. Any type of angle here is good. I like to come into the ball rather than using 2 or 3 rails in this shot. I'd like to just use the 1 rail. Keep it simple. Yeah, landed, didn't leave as much angle as what I thought there, so I just played a straight draw back. I know that anywhere around there I'm going to be good. And this is for 3 out of 3. So yeah, when you're playing a money game like this, perfect start. 3 out of 3, your confidence is going now, you're starting to feel good. That was probably my best break so far, actually. I popped the cue ball a little bit as well. And to be fair, I've been quite unlucky because I've left the 5-6 there, which is tricky. So 2 options here. I can obviously play the free ball, and then from the 4, I'd rather play for the combination or try and get on, or try and come around the back of the 5. I'm just working it out here whether I should play for the combination. The problem with playing for the combination is that if you get perfect on the combination, land bang straight, then you're quite happy with that. But that's not easy to do from where the 4 ball is. So I think I might opt to play to come in behind the 5 ball. The reason why, because when I come behind the 5 ball, like to the long rail, to the left there, is that I know that if I kiss the 5 ball, there's still a great opportunity of having a shot on the 5. And obviously, if I miss the 5 ball, I might just miss the 6, which is good. I can play the 5 in this top left. Don't want to be coming around the back of the 7 or flirting anywhere near the 7, and I don't want to be flirting near the pockets. So, if I had an easier ball to get perfect on the combination, I'd play for the combination. But with this particular shot, 4 to the 5, it's very hard to get straight on the 5 here and get close. So, I believe I play the right shot here. So just a bit of bottom right, maybe a tip of bottom right, just don't hit the ball too hard. And I played it perfect. Oh, not quite perfect. I've landed slightly jacked over the 6 here, so slightly awkward cueing. And to be fair, I don't think I hit this shot very good. But we will see. Yeah, if that cue ball run another inch to it, would have been perfect. So I hit that one a little bit fat. So could have missed that ball there, but I think just the speed I played it just allowed it to take. Quite a big rack, actually. So I think at this point, my opponent, Kurt, I think, this will make me 4 from 4 racks, 4 breaks, 4 runouts. I think Kurt was maybe on 2 or 3 at this stage. Here again, probably got a slight angle on the 7 ball. Yeah, I don't want to try and get too close to the 8 ball, because if I get too close to the 8 ball, then I have to get my extension out or even maybe use a bridge, which makes the shot more difficult. So just left just enough distance so that I can use my playing cue without any extension and play like that nice little punchy shot, 1 rail. Keep it simple. And straight in 9 ball, and that's 4-0 to me. 4 racks, 4 runouts. That's rack number 5. Again, another good break there. Nearly got very unlucky with that kiss, but it's landed perfect. I think I made 2 or 3 balls there. Yeah, so I made 2 balls there, left the 2 ball over the pocket, and the table's laying very nicely. You always got to be careful with these shots with a 2 ball like this when it's right deep in the pocket. Do you swing it round, or do you just risk drawing up and playing the one rail. I think it's like, I sort of like this. I just feel like I've got more control of the cue ball playing this way. Yeah, and the closer I put it to the 2 ball, the more control you get, and played it perfect. So here I might play like a little kill shot, or I might draw it across off the side rail and leave the angle. Now, I played the kill shot. I think that depends on how you're really feeling in yourself, but I sort of like keeping the game very simple. I sort of pride myself on my cue ball control. So here landed perfect. So I play this with bottom left. Don't hit the ball too hard. Just let the cue ball float up. Just let the spin do all the work. You see where it hit the rail there? The spin really took off the side rail without hitting the ball hard. So here, just play with just eye on the cue ball, maybe a tip of left. There you go. Keep it nice and straight. Maybe even might have been less than a tip there of left. So I landed perfect on the 6. Straight in. I'll probably just roll this through maybe 2 or 3 inches, or maybe even just play a stop shot. Yeah, play like a little stun run through, a punch run through to you Americans. Leave a nice angle on the 7 ball. So again, I'll just play 1 rail here. I won't try and flirt with 2 rails. I overspinning the ball and risk scratching in the side pocket. Just keeping the game very simple. And if you control the cue ball, the game really is simple. Yeah, starting to feel good now, because if I wasn't feeling good there, I would never play that 9 ball like that. I would punch the ball in, but feeling good to draw it. So that's 5 out of 5. 5 racks, 5 break and runs, and another good break there. And the balls are split very well again. And when you got a rack like this, you haven't got to do anything with the cue ball. The 2, 3, and 4 are very close together, and the 6, 7, 8 are very close together. So if you could place the balls with your hand after the rack, this would be it. This would be the rack you would want to win a world championship or any massive important rack what we've all played in our career. This is the type of layout you would like. The only shot you've got to really think of anything is probably the 8 to the 9, but I mean still, if you had this layout after any break, you are very happy. You've got to really do something major wrong here to not get out. But still, it's important to take care. Don't rush the shots. Don't think, oh, it's an easy rack. I'm just going to get down and hit the ball. Still treat every rack and every shot the same. Give it full attention, full concentration. As you can just see, I'm just keeping it nice and simple, trying to leave myself straight in on every shot because it's just dot to dot. I'm just connecting the dots here. So another stop shot here. Should leave myself straight in on the 7. There you go. Probably come back an inch too far actually, but it's okay. I'd rather just maybe pinch the pocket here, or maybe just like singe it, kill the cue ball, so I don't get too close to the rail with the white ball. There you go. I didn't want to get touching the rail, but I wasn't, because the only way I could really miss that 7 ball if I was to try and power that ball in and punch it off the side rail, but there's absolutely no need to do that. That's just risking missing the ball. So just leave a nice little angle on the 8 ball, just play with top, and there you go, top right, not too much, maybe a tip of right there, and again just landed straight in on the 9 ball once again, and another perfect rack. And this will make it 6 out of 6, 6 breaks and 6 runs. And I think my opponent at this stage, he was maybe on 4 out of 6. So he was hanging there. In the early stages, he was hanging in there. I think it was in the middle of the game where he sort of started to make more mistakes. I think he might have seen my score because we had a break after maybe 10 racks. So he probably seen my score and probably put a bit of pressure on him, knowing that he couldn't afford any more mistakes. And that's what it's all about, trying to keep the pressure on your opponent. So when you're going down, you've got to keep your foot on their throat. Another perfect break again. A really nice layout. I'm guessing the free passes the 4 ball, so I'll probably take the free in the side here. So this probably just play with follow, just a touch of inside English, a bit of right, yep. Just leave myself straight in or just off straight so I can use the rail or I can draw back. Ideally, I would like to draw back to where the cue ball is now, but that's risky. You don't want to bring the 9 ball into play, so I probably should leave more angle here on the 6 ball, which then it'd be natural just to come off the short rail there onto the long rail. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. I'd be happy, very happy with that. So here, make sure you don't if you're going to punch a shot, make sure you don't get into the cue ball too much. So I'll probably say that you're best just playing this with a lot of extreme right and with follow. And that's what I did. You see what I did there? Because if I punch that ball there, I'm risking kissing the 8 ball, which is the last thing you want to do. Because if you kiss that 8 ball, you're more or less dead. Probably just draw the 7 ball here. Yep. Just draw it out. Just keep the cue ball in the middle of the table there. And this shot there, there's a lot of amateurs want to play this with bottom left and try and come for the 9 in the same pocket. That's okay if you're feeling great, but you still got to be a little bit careful with those type of shots. So what I did there is that I hit very low on the cue ball, but just hit it really quite softly with a lot of left. Just make sure I don't bring that side pocket into play and just make sure I leave myself a shot on the 9 ball. And again, landed straight in. And another run out, so that's 7 out of 7. So 7-0. This is rack number 8. Ooh, another perfect break. Yeah, hit them really good there. Made 4 balls. And again, couldn't really ask for a much better layout. Nothing to do really. So yeah, I didn't realise that I broke this well in this particular match. But before this game, I was putting a lot of hours in. I was practicing a lot, like May and June of last year. I was putting a lot of work in, and it really paid off in this particular match. I think this is like the stage where I was back to my best pull from, let's say, 6-7 years ago. Obviously, from 2016 to 2019, I sort of took a lot of breaks from the game. Wasn't really practicing, wasn't really competing, was missing probably 60-70% of the tournaments each year for three years. And I started coming back last year, and then obviously the pandemic hit. I was ready. I was ready to compete at a top level again. I was ready to try and pick up the big titles, but obviously this pandemic stopped all that. But this particular match, this is where I really felt as if I was back to my old self. And then after this match, I sort of, obviously with the pandemic, I sort of got a little bit down in myself because there was nothing to play for. So took quite a big break after this match. But now I'm back playing again now, just getting ready just in case there's tournaments around the corner. Another straight in 9 ball, so another straightforward rat there, so that's 8-0. Not so good a break this time, lost the cue ball a little bit low. That's the last thing you want to do is lose that cue ball to the bottom half, to lose it to the underneath the 9 ball, let's say. You want to try and keep the cue ball coming up table, not down table. But in this particular case, it's not a big issue because you get ball in hand. I would have had a shot on the 1 ball anyway, but a little bit more of a tricky run out here, but obviously with ball in hand it's a massive help because I can leave the perfect angle on the 3 ball, and I would imagine I'm going to play for the 4 ball in the side pocket, or maybe even play for the combination, the 4-9, or it could even play the 4-8, but again, getting straight on the 4 from the 3 is not easy, so I don't think I would play that shot. Yeah, ideally I'd like to play for the 4 in the side pocket. You see where I'm putting the cue ball here for the 1 ball? That's because I know that I can play the perfect speed now. Where if I was to play the 1 ball in this top right here when I'm standing, and I'd have to draw the ball, so that just makes it a little bit. You got less control, and you're sort of not guaranteed to get position. Where rolling the ball in, I can really more or less put the cue ball exactly where I want it. So I'll leave myself a little bit longer free ball here, just on a purpose, knowing that I can do that. Just guarantee. I think I've left probably a little bit more angle than I would have liked here, so I might have to use the bottom rail also. Like so, coming between the 4 and the 8 ball, hit the short rail, and come back up. So I might have to play this with bottom right, but hitting it softly so that the white ball keeps its line. Oh, no, I think I'm playing just follow with right, so that's okay. Yep, just missed the 4 ball. Got a little bit of English. The right hand side just took a little bit. Would have liked a bit more juice on that. Another 2 or 3 inches would have been perfect. But I do believe the 4 passes a 6 ball, which I knew that anyway. So 2 options. I can take this in the side or the top pocket. But if I'm straight in, then I should take it in the top, into the top left here, as we look on our screen. So yeah, just making sure that I'm comfortable, because slightly awkward cueing. So don't do anything crazy with the cue ball. Just make sure I make the ball and make sure I don't get jacked over the 9. So yeah, just make sure the ball. Leave myself a little bit longer 5 ball. I could have run through there 2 or 3 feet, but no need to. The 6 is laying lovely for the from the 5 to the 6 is good. So I can just roll this 5 ball in here. Again, just taking my medicine, taking what the table gives me. Yeah, so there I play like a little punch run through. So that means I'm feeling good. Because the other way to play that is to play with drag, just killing the white ball and just let it release that way. But obviously feeling good at this stage. Start hitting the ball a bit harder. Starting to get through the cue ball nicely. So on the 7 ball here, probably just play top right, not too much right, just a little bit of right, maybe a tip of right, eye on the cue ball. Again, you don't want to be punching this and risk hitting that 8 ball. Probably put a little bit too much juice into that, but it's okay. You know, I might have accidentally got into the cue ball a little bit much more than what I wanted there. Again, taking no risk, just make the ball and leave myself straight on the side. And this will make it 9-0. That's 9 breaks and 9 runouts. Good break there. Yeah, actually the rules were if you scratch on the break, you just get to re-rack. Because you can get very unlucky on the break. You can get kicked in off and all that, so that was the rules we played. Obviously scratch any time during the game, you lose the game. A great start. I think I'm 9 for 9. 9 breaks, 9 runouts. I think Kurt Weaver, I believe he was like maybe 6 or 7 out of 9 at this stage. And quite a little bit more work to do here. The key ball is the 4 to the 5. The 2 and 3 is very easy, but it's very important to get on the 4 properly. I can leave an angle like from, let's say, where the cue ball is now, make the 4 come round for the 5 in the same pocket, or just leave myself straight and draw back, or just off straight and draw back. So it's personal preference. I'm one of those that like to get close to my work, keep it simple. So yeah, I think I just draw this back and try and get close to my work. Yeah, starting to hit the ball really nicely. Obviously, I'm 9 for 9, so I'm pretty sure that in my own mind I was in front of my opponent at this stage. Starting to hit the ball nicely. I'm in the zone. Starting to feel really good. Look, the cue ball's going exactly really where I want it. Play like a little stun draw there. So just below centre of the cue ball and just hit it nice. Just a nice easy stroke. Like nice and loose grip. My grip's getting looser and looser here. Again, nice clean shot on the 5 ball. Purposely leaving myself on the short rail. Come down here for the 7. This way I know that I can get on the right side of the 7, so I don't have to use the short rail there after making the 7 ball. Just play one rail and come across for the 8. Again, nice on the 7 ball. Probably just punch us in. Yeah, just punched it in. Just maybe just a less than a half a tip than left, just to make sure I get past the side pocket and give myself more angle on this 8 ball. So here, just make sure I make the 8 ball. Not worried about the cue ball landing on the rail. I know that I'm going to be straight on the 9 ball, so I'm not trying to pinch the pocket there on the 8 ball, risk missing it. Just leave myself a shot on the 9 ball. I know I'm going to make this 99 times out of 100. And there you go. And that's 10 for 10. So that's 10 break and run from 10. Ooh, that's my worst break so far. Lost the cue ball there. Very lucky to not scratch. Where if I would have scratched there, I would have had to re-rack the balls. But it is come out nicely. So the only real shot here is the 8 and the 9 ball. So again, the first 2 or 3 shots are quite simple. Just make sure I leave myself decent on the 5 ball, I think it is. Down table there. I'm just looking to see where I want to be on the 4 ball here. I mean, even landing straight on the 4 ball is not a disaster. Like to come out a little bit with the cue ball here so that I can make the 4 punch off the rail. Yeah, just like this. So, depends how you're feeling here. I can draw back and just play the 5 and use the long rail. The side rail just come out, back out. Or I can punch it in, just leave myself off straight. But yeah, I've decided to draw back. Just keeping it simple, using less rails as possible. And keeping everything tight. And really making sure that the balls are virtually unmissable, really. So again, just looking to see where I want the cue ball there. Personal preference, you can swing it round the table, or you can just leave yourself straight or just off straight and draw back. So I probably got into the cue ball a little bit more than I wanted there. But again, not too worried because I know I can spin this ball in. So there's just eye on the cue ball with left. The key is here, make sure you hit the ball before the rail, because if you catch the rail before the ball, you might scratch in the corner. So, very important to hit the ball. And here, would have liked to have been a little bit closer, obviously, but I think I'm pretty happy with this position. A little half ball cut into the corner. Again, don't roll these balls, and I see a lot of amateurs rolling these balls. And the problem with that is that it makes it missable because of the nerves, but also the ball can skid. So again, you can see that I'm feeling good there because I've decided to draw it. Where sometimes you can sort of play a little punchy shot there, or you can play with follow with more speed. But don't just roll the ball in and just try and trickle it in. So I think that's 11 for 11, so I'm 11-0 now. And a good break this time. A nice spread of the balls. And again, they're laying pretty good. But again, when you're playing position, especially with ball in hand, you're best playing with follow than you are stun or draw. Right, so just keeping it very simple. Yes, avoid the traffic. Don't try and kiss into balls unless you have to really kiss into balls. I see a lot of people kissing into balls a lot, even some pros. Like just there's no need to kiss into balls and look for trouble when you don't need to. Just keep the game nice and simple. Play the right patterns. Play to your strengths. And you see again, I just play with follow. Just obviously, I know I'm going to come underneath the 7 ball, leave myself the perfect angle. Where I didn't try and use this short rail up here and land straight on the 3 and then kiss the 4 or something crazy happen. So left myself a nice angle here on the 3 ball. Making sure that I get out this time. The reason why I put a little bit more juice and it was more important to land the top side of the 4 ball, because if I land short, it would have been more difficult to get on the 5 because I can't use a side rail because the 7 ball's in the way. And I don't want to be drawing down table and come off the side rail there and coming around the back of the 5. Because then if you hit it too hard or too soft, you don't get a shot on the 5 or you end up hooked behind the 9. But again, I was making sure that I got the right side of the 4 ball there because of where the 7 ball was. So here, I should punch it in, come around the back of the 8. So this is like a really touchy-feely shot. So you got to make sure you commit to this shot. So a bit of bottom right, put maybe like a tip on there, a tip of bottom left. Table playing very quick actually. Well, it's not too bad. I'll probably just draw this back maybe 2 feet, land in between, let's say, the 7 and the 8, so that my hands, so that I haven't got to jack over the 8 or the 9. So if I just drop the cue ball back here, 1-2 feet, just leave myself like a nice little cut on the 7 ball. Probably drew back more than I wanted there, but I think more is better than less in this situation. Because now all I've got to do is just focus on making the ball. I haven't got to worry about the cue ball. Just make sure you make the ball. So I can hit this really soft. Just bottom of the cue ball and just hit it nice and soft. Nice loose grip. And stay down in the shot. Yep. Just commit to the shot. Because again, I see a lot of amateurs with that type of shot. They try and fire that ball in because they get too much tension, nerves. Same with that little shot there. Just nice loose grip. Just bring the cue ball back 2 or 3 inches. And I believe that makes it 12-0. So I'm 12 for 12. Rack 13. And I know at this stage I'm pretty well in front of my opponent. I think he was probably 8 out of 12 at this stage, so I know I had quite a few games in hand here. And again, another good split. 8 and 9 could have got tied up, but didn't. So everything's looking rosy again. So again here, just make sure you don't land short on the 3 ball and bring the 6, 8 and 9 into play. So it's important here to get straight on the 3 ball or just get that the other side of the 3 ball to leave where my tip is now would be perfect. So again, make sure you don't land short on this shot, and that's exactly what I've done. So that's a terrible shot. That's probably the worst shot I played in the match so far, and I think you can see with my expression, I'm not happy about that. It's not a disaster, but making my work a lot more difficult than what it should be. So here I'm going to play with follow and right. Again, commit to the shot. Yeah, commit to the shot, which I did. So it wasn't a massive problem, but I shouldn't have, if I landed a touch shot or there, I'll probably have to use a side rail. So, yeah, top there with a bit of right. Maybe half a tip of right on that. Just come up nicely for the 5 ball. Just draw back now, a couple of feet would be nice. Yeah, probably had more angle than I thought, so I had to leave more angle. And this is okay, just make sure of the ball. Yeah, didn't put any English on that shot. Just hit it middle of the cue ball and just put a good stroke on it. Because if you get into the cue ball too much there, you're probably scratching the side pocket. Or if you try and too much spin on it, you can miss the ball. So just commit to the shot. Just leave myself off straight on this 7 ball and just draw back Don't have to draw back too far. There's 8 balls close to the pocket, so don't try and get too greedy. Just really focus on making that ball come out to the middle of the table like I have done, and then just draw this in with a bit of right. Yep, just helping that ball in there. The only way you can miss that ball is play with top left. That's another rack, so I believe that's 14, I believe. So I'm yet to drop a rack here. So I'm 13 for 13, so it's 13-0. I do apologise, I did get my racks mixed up. Yeah, so I'm 13 racks and 13 runouts. So I know that I'm pretty well in front of my opponent now, so it's all a case of keeping my concentration, staying focused, and now I'm really thinking about winning the 30 racks out of 30. That's my target now. I'm in that zone, I'm feeling good. But this time got a tougher layout, as you can see, the 5-8, not easy. Especially when they're not set, the combination's not set, so I've got to get pretty good on from the 4 to the 5 here. So this is the first rack where I've got quite a bit of work to do thinking about that 5 ball, and that's all I'm thinking about right now, is how is the best to get on that 5 ball from the 4. But obviously now the confidence is high, hitting the ball pretty good. Pretty confident that I can put the cue ball exactly where I want it now. And like I said, I did put quite a bit of work in leading up to this match, but I was playing quite a lot of pool anyway. During this period on lockdown, I was playing a few smaller challenge games, which I was winning comfortable with and winning a lot of racks. I believe I played a 10-ball set where I won like maybe 30 racks out of 32 or 33 racks. I won 32 like break and run 10-ball, maybe 30 out of 32 or 33 racks. So my games bit was good coming into this game. So yeah. Didn't really get on the 4 ball here. For whatever reason, I didn't hit a good shot there. But I think I've got a slight angle on the 4 ball. So I think I play this with follow, and top right. So I'll make the ball come off the long rail there, the side rail, off the top rail, and let the spin take over and just land just before the side pocket, just maybe 3 or 4 inches before the side pocket on that side rail. Yeah, actually got closer to the 5 ball than I wanted, but I feel as though I've been a bit unlucky there. If that just rolled like another inch off the rail, it would have been perfect. But so now it's a blind pocket combination, which has got to be made anyway. So this is quite a difficult shot I've got here. It's more difficult than what it looks on screen. So what I'm doing here is that I'm picking the point out on the 5 ball where I want the cue ball to hit. So what I do now is I obviously pick my line out from the 5 to the 8, which point to the 8, and then I just go through the 8 ball, and all I'm doing now is aiming the 5 ball at a point on this short rail. So I'm not even thinking about the 8 ball, I'm just making sure the 5 ball's hitting on this top rail where I want it to. There you go. So I used a point on the short rail there as if that was the pocket, and I ain't got to worry about hitting the 8 ball in the spot where I've got to hit it. Just makes combinations a lot easier. Pick out something in the distance for the 5 ball to hit, and your combinations will really improve, and then just commit to it. And I'm regarded as probably the best player in the world at combinations, or one of the best. So it is something I pride myself in and put a lot of work in. A very important part of the game, especially 1 pocket, straight pull, all those 8 ball. That's another rack, so I believe that's 14 for 14 now. So nearly halfway there. Another good break here. Pop the cue ball nicely. And really good spread. You know, these are the racks you want where there's no like balls tied up. Everything's open. It's just a case of just playing the patterns good, keeping the cue ball under control, and commit to the shots. Yeah, 14-0. I believe Kurt was maybe like 10-4 at this stage, so maybe 10-4, 9-5, something like that. I think he ended up with 30 out of the 30 racks. I believe he won 21 out of 30, so he was 21-9. Leading up to the match, he was Facebooking live. He was live Facebooking his practice sessions, playing the same format. He was averaging like 22, 23 out of 30. So I knew that my average would be minimum 23. So, but I knew if I played well, I'd be well over 25. So I was pretty confident coming into the game. Like, as long as I played decent, played well, I'd be should be at least winning 25 out of 30 racks. So winning 29 out of 30 was great. Should have really been 30, which would have been the icing on the cake. It is good playing the ghost because it adds that more pressure to your practice. You want to beat the ghost. Imagine you're playing against someone else in competition. It's good for your concentration. So here, just play with follow. I think got a slight angle on the 4-ball. Yeah, just follow the ball. Maybe just a half a tip of left there. Just make sure I don't bring the 6 into play. So now just looking to draw back. The 6 does pass the 7. And again, nice loose grip. Just go through the cue ball. So here now, just commit to making the shot. There, I like playing those shots there. You just punch it in with a right, just forcing the cue ball. Just let the cue ball do all the work when it hits the side rail. And another straight in 9-ball. And that gives me 15 out of 15. Get a little fist pump there. Because that was a half time, so that was my little mini break after that rack. So it was nice to get halfway knowing that I've won 15 out of 15. And now I know that I'm in a very commanding position. Got a very tough rack here. The 3 and the 9's tied up there. So decisions, I'm not too sure if it's a combination or if I can maybe play the 1-ball, play 1 rail and go into the 3 and 9. But I'm looking now to see if it's a 3-9 combination. Coming round the back is a possibility. Playing the 3 in the side, but again, getting to the 4-ball then is going to be brutally difficult. So you can see I'm having a good look at the combination here from both sides. And it's a little bit tricky getting exactly where you'd like to be, like there, from where the 1-ball is. So yeah, when you're playing combination, you're not sure, just do what I'm doing there. Just take the cue ball down there. Just look at it with the cue ball there. You'll have a better feel for it, whether it does go or not. Sometimes you might have to make it. It might be just offset, so you might be able to reverse it in if the balls are touching or very close together. So yeah, so I'm going to draw down table here, I believe. Well, couldn't really put that much better in my hand. Maybe two inches too far, I'd say, but very happy with that. I would take that. So now it's a case, what I've got to do, I can't quite remember what I did here. Obviously, I want to try and make the combination. I can't remember if we played with the rule where the 9-ball respots. I believe we did. So obviously, I'm thinking about playing position here also on the 3-ball. So if that's the case, I'll be trying to get the 3 between the 7 and the 8 to be able to play the 3 between the 7 and the 8. Yeah, I played that really well. Yeah, it does respot, I believe, yep. Oh, does the 9-ball just stay down? Yeah, the 9-ball respots, so I couldn't have really played that any better. I had perfect control, played the 3-ball exactly where I wanted it to go and put the cue ball exactly where I wanted it to go also, so yeah, that was a much better shot than where it looked there. Again, still got to be careful, make sure you get decent on this 4-ball. You don't want to be coming well short, because then you're going away from your work with the 6. But at the same time, you don't want to come too far up table and leave yourself a thin cut on the 4 ball and running away from the 6 again. So I've probably left this a little bit thinner than I wanted. Shouldn't be a massive problem, but made it a little bit more difficult than what I should have done. So you can see where I'm pointing my cue there. So I'm just going to drop the 4 ball in, not do anything crazy here. Like a lot of players here try and go around the table, around the back of the 7, but you just bring in a lot of danger into play to gain what, maybe a foot, 2 foot. So I've left this a little bit thinner than what I probably wanted at the particular time. So now I've got a decision to make. I'm probably supposed to play this with a bit of inside English, aim the cue ball towards the 8, but obviously not land near the 8, but to play the 7 ball in the bottom right. But the bailout shot here is to play with left because it's an easier pot. It's easy to make the ball if you play it with left and try and flirt with a 9 that way, but that's very dangerous because you can get stuck behind the 9 or you can go a little bit too far and the cue ball's on the short rail up there and you've no shot on the 7 ball unless you bank it. So I'm supposed to play with a bit of inside English here. If you're playing really well, you play this with inside English. And I did. Played with inside English. Probably didn't get as much inside English as I wanted. And that's why I've landed funny on the 7 ball here. So yeah, left myself a very, very tough shot now on the 7 ball. Not only is it a tough shot, is that I don't think I can reach over from the side rail there. So I have to, or maybe I can. But the thing is that obviously I got to hit it thin and hit it quite hard. So I'm thinking, well, do I play with follow with left, but you've no idea where the cue ball's going to go, and you're bringing the side pockets into play? Or do I play with inside English and use the 1 rail, go up and down table, which I think is a safer bet, and you've more chance of making the ball playing it this way. So what I did there, I played inside English, just go up and down table, making sure I'm taking the balls out of play. So here you've got to be careful also with the 8 ball. It's just frozen to the rail there just before the pocket, so it's not a case of just, you can't just follow this ball in and play the 9 in the side. So I think I draw this ball. So you got to really commit to this shot, really commit to it. Oh yeah, I played it perfect. That's one of the best shots I played in the whole match, regards to control of the cue ball. So another good wrap there. That's 16 for 16, and you see a little fist pump there because now I'm really determined to run out the whole set. It's 16-0. Another good break there. Yeah, so that's 16 rack, 16 runouts. So the only real tricky shot here is the 1 to the 2. So I'll probably play the 1-4 combination here. Try and leave a little angle on the 1 ball to go down table, down that long rail on the right hand side. Oh, there's an option to spin the 1 ball in here into this left hand corner pocket. Spin the white off 3 rails, but a little bit dangerous, let's say. I think this is the easier option. Just keep it simple. So as you can see there, when I'm playing the combination, I didn't just make it and think, oh, I'm guaranteed a shot on the 1 ball, which I was. I was making sure I leave the right angle on the 1 ball to come down for the 2. So as you can see, I'm absolutely perfect. That's very important when you're playing those little shots. Make sure you're playing position for the next ball. And I played that pretty much perfect, I would think. Yeah, just done up between the 8 and the 9 there. And now it's just working in them little sections. Just make sure I get good position on the 5, and then keys to get decent position on the 7. Then it's just so it's sort of dot to dot finish here. Nice little angle on the 5 ball. I think it's easier to play this with follow with a touch of right than it is to stun it in and withdraw. Come off spin it off the 2, because you're not guaranteed to get good on the 7 ball that way, where going this way, the 1 rail, just a little bit of spin, more or less guaranteed to get the perfect shape what I desire on the 7 ball. So again, just keeping the game very simple, and this will be 17 racks out of 17 break and runs. And I believe that my opponent Kurt Weaver, he was probably I'm 17 for 17. He was probably 12-5, I think, at this stage, maybe 12-5. So now it's just a case of me pushing home now. So rack 18, another good break. So just placing the cue ball exactly where I want it. Where I would really like, there's an option really to play the 1 in the side and roll through, and play the 3 in the corner just near the 6 there. But sort of nice little position here just to punch off the side rail, and make it even easier. A lot of table to work with. Pretty 3 balls close to the 4 ball, so there's no worry about getting position on the 4. I'll just play like a little stun draw there. So just hitting like maybe a tip below centre there. Just try not to hit the ball too hard. Make sure you leave the angle on the 4 ball. Not essential because the 5 goes in the side also, but nice to play for the corner pockets if you can. Not played this one so good. I will not be happy with myself with that shot, as you can see. So yeah, I'll probably have to punch this draw in, put like a punch draw here, or maybe just draw it with a touch of right. Just miss just a diamond before the pocket and punch it across for the 6, just like that. So that's just that playing that little bit of left there, just checks it up nicely, because you don't want to get straight in on the 6. Left a nice little angle on the 6 to get to the 7. Probably should play for the corner here. Can't quite remember what I played. Yeah, to play for the corner. Because the problem with playing with the side for there is that you'd have to punch it up table. You might just lose the cue ball a little bit and leave a trickier 7. So playing for the corner, I mean, you had a good, you're coming into a good angle, and just makes the work a lot easier. So I'll play like a little punch run through there. Just making sure that I get a good contact there, and just swing that cue ball out a little bit wider so don't follow the cue ball in with the object ball. So I'll just play that with a touch of right, follow. Maybe come a fraction too far, but it's just about okay. But that's best to land short than it is too far, so it's okay. But and that's rack number 18, so that's 18 out of 18 now, out of the 30 racks. We actually play the rule that if you don't make the 3-point rule, I believe we re-rack them also. So even though I sort of broke pretty good there, I didn't make the 3-point rule. So that's the reason for the re-rack there. So that basically the 3-point rule. If you make a ball, you get 1 point. If you get 2 balls past the edge string, then that's classed as another 2 points. So I didn't manage to do that on the previous break. So that's the reason for me re-racking the balls there. But it's an even better break this time. And a perfect split. Maybe the only little tricky shot is a 6, but maybe the 6 passes a 7. I'm just taking a look now. A little bit tight, but the 6 probably does go in the side pocket if you get good shape on it, and it also goes into this top left-hand pocket here. So again, there on the 1 ball. Don't want to land too short on the 3 ball. That's okay. Would have liked another few inches, but I can work with that. Might play a little soft draw here, or maybe punch it across to the side rail and back out. Yep, that's what I do. So that's a good sign that I'm feeling good now. Starting to let my harm go. So this all depends whether that 6 passes a 7 ball. Can't quite remember. It's been a while since this match was played. So that tells me that I'm playing for the 6 past the 7 ball. So obviously it does go, but it's not a full pocket. So I'll just probably play this just into the rail, maybe like an inch or 2 before the pocket, and just use the rail to make the ball. Because if you try and pot this clean, you probably just flick the 7 ball, and obviously you miss the ball. So I'll probably play this. I'm guessing I'll probably play this with play like a drag shot, kill shot. Hit it really softly, make the pocket bigger. No, I played it, punched it, sorry. So it went pretty clearly, so that was a bit deceiving looking at that. Nicely on the 9 ball. And I believe that's 19. 19 out of 19. Not so great break there. Wasn't too happy with the cue ball, but the split okay. I think that's a 2 ball just near the 7 ball there. So the 1 ball here, I'll probably put it on this side rail and spin it off 3 rails. Just missed the 9 ball. If I can miss the 9 ball, as you can see, that's where I'm looking now. Just making sure that I don't hit that 9 ball when I come off that second rail. If that was a big problem, then I'd probably just leave myself more straight in on the 1 ball and just draw back. But it's actually tighter than it looks, so as you can see, I'm just checking the angle there because I don't want to be kissing that 9 ball. So putting the cue ball close to the object ball helps, makes the shot a lot more controllable and get the perfect angle. Obviously you can see I'm not 100% comfortable with the shot because that 9 ball, if I don't hit this perfect and if I kiss that 9 ball, obviously I'll be dead. So now I'm looking to draw back. I don't like it, so back to the original plan. Yeah, obviously I'm very worried about the 9 ball here. As you can see, that path. So I'm even risking bringing the scratch into play here. If we just played this with follow and right, I'd probably kiss the 9 ball. So I have to dig into that cue ball a little bit more and risk scratching in the side. And in the end, I played it perfect. Yeah, probably worried a bit too much. Something and nothing really, but if I had played that with just normal follow, I probably would have kissed that 9 ball. So I played it well, got perfect on the 2 ball. So here the key shot's going to be the 4 to the 5 and the 5 to the 7. So landing on the 5 ball's key. Ideally here, I want to try and get the come to the left-hand side of the 5, so I haven't got to negotiate around the 9 ball, let's say. I am looking at that angle. Maybe I'm got a little funny angle on the 4 ball, but I think ideally that second where I just putting my cue there would be ideal. Let's see what happens. Even straight's okay. As it is, I've probably played it perfect. Yeah, I couldn't really play that much better. So now I just play this with follow, a bit of right hand English, maybe a tip of a tip of left English, maybe just eye on the cue ball, left English, maybe a good tip. Make sure that I don't get too straight on the 7 ball, leave the angle, and that looks pretty good. Like usually I probably come here and play for the 8 in the right hand pocket, but the 9 ball could be a big blocker here, so I would imagine I come this side when I'm just walked. So to the right hand side, just make sure you stay clear of that traffic and that 9 ball. So this will be probably top and right hand English. Yeah, top and right hand English. Well, a lot of players have stunned that in and we've left and come off the 3 rails, but again, you're narrowing your angle and the area to the landing. So a bit more of a guess shot, where playing it the way I played it, I just feel though you got total control of the situation. Yeah, landed straighter than I wanted there on the 8 ball. I was going to say I'm not too happy, so I tried to force the 8 ball in. It's not too bad, but left myself a little tricky one. These can be missed. I think this is to get to 20 racks, so really want to push home the advantage now, and played it nicely, played it perfect speed. So that gets me to 20, I believe. Yeah, it's come out pretty good, the break. This situation here, the 2 passes are 9, so I'm going to make this draw back out for the 3 off the side rail. So I think all I'm thinking about here is the 4 to the 5. That's a key shot to this rack. I'd like to say a big shout out to all my sponsors. You can see there at the top of the screen, I got Rasson Billiards. I've been with them, this has been my 4th year. Just renewed my contract, so a big thank you to Rasson. And I will be having a Rasson table from my sponsors, which will replace this diamond table, hopefully by the summer. So I'm really looking forward to that. And Predator Cues, my long-time sponsor for a good 15 years now. Keep raising the bar for standard and supporting billiards in general. You got Dynamite Baits, originally was my fishing sponsor, as I like to do carp angling, so big thanks to them. Dynamite Baits, you got my logo there in the middle, the Dynamite logo. Tiger Products, Tiger Pro, in my opinion the best tips in the world. I play with a sniper and absolutely love them. Got CueWorld, sell all the retail stuff online. You can go to their website, based in Australia, sell everything, tables, cues, everything you can think of, merchandise. And my new shirt sponsors, Onboard Sportswear. Definitely the best shirts I've ever worn for playing billiards. Very silky, light material, great designs. And you can check my shirts, my official playing shirts, out on their website. So go and check out all the sponsors. So the 5 ball there, I play with a touch of inside English to avoid the 6. Played it really well. So on the 6 ball here, I'll just kill it. So just a bit of bottom right, maybe a tip of bottom right. Just hit the ball very, very softly. Just kill that cue ball. Maybe landed just a fraction off straight here on the 8 ball. So I don't think the option's there just to draw it straight back, because it'll probably be scratching the middle side pocket. So I'll probably play like a little punch draw here. Just a touch of, just a little bit, quarter tip of right. I'll come a little bit further down table than I would have liked, but shouldn't be a problem. That's another rack, keeping my 100% record here. I believe that was an illegal break or a dry break, and if that happens, we agreed to re-rack the balls with my opponent, Kurt Weaver. So it's a re-rack, just rack the balls back up. Yeah, so go and check out all my sponsors, support the guys who really support us and the industry. Please don't forget to subscribe, like and share all my videos. Doing it all for free takes a lot of my time, but something I enjoy. I like giving back and helping people. And another illegal break there. So that was a bad rack though. As you can see, the balls are all bunched together, not really moved. So that was very, very lazy racking, let's say. It's easy to leave gaps also, even when using a template. Hit them a little bit fuller there than I wanted, so another bad break really. But I made the 3-point rules, and I believe I made a ball on the break also. So quick look at the table here. The 2 to the 4 is going to be the key. So I want to try and get straight on the 2 ball, because if I come short, it's difficult to avoid the 9 and the 8. If I come too far to the left, then obviously it's going to be difficult to avoid the 7. So I want to try and get straight as I can here on the 2. So I'll probably take the 1 ball in the side pocket, which is easy to judge the speed of the cue ball and get it exactly where I want it. As you can see where I'm pointing my cue now, so I've got about maybe a 2 foot area to play into. So playing it with follow makes a shot a lot easier than it would making the 1 ball in the corner coming off the side rail or even drawing back. It's a lot easier to control the speed and get the position you would like by playing with follow. So as you can see, that's where I would like the cue ball when I'm pointing my cue tip. So just lining the 1 ball up to where I want the cue ball to go. And I played it terrible. Come like a good foot short there, so I've left a more angle on the 2 ball than what I would like. Can't play with follow because I'm going to kiss the 9, which would leave me dead. So I've got to play like a punch draw here. If I just draw it naturally, like low on the cue ball, I'm going to be very close to scratching in the side pocket. So I just need to hit just below centre of the cue ball here, but make sure I go through the cue ball, no jabby stuff. And put that left English just a little bit, maybe a tip of left, and just below centre of the cue ball. Really get the cue ball to really grab quickly to avoid hitting that 9 ball. And also for it time just to grab till it misses the 8 ball. So I really want to just be missing the 8 ball by a few inches, and then when it hits the side rail, let the spin take, the left spin, and then it should come further up table. Leave me a bit easier shot on the 4 ball, which is going to be tricky anyway. Yeah, so yeah, probably a good tip and a half of left here. And play like a delayed punch draw, and I played it perfect. This rack here, the 6 ball is quite tight past this 7. Might not look it on the screen, but trust me, it was. I probably could see half of the pocket, and the combination's not easy unless you get right behind the 6 to make the ball hand control the 6 ball after making the 7. So I don't particularly play this shot as good as what I would have liked. I would have liked more angle on the 5 ball. So that means I've got to force the 5 ball in, punch it out with right hand English. So I want to get straight as I can here on the 6 ball, and I would have liked to have got really close to it, but this position on the 5 ball didn't really allow that. So just take my medicine, make sure I leave myself straight, as straight as I can on the 6, and that's pretty good. So I'm aiming the 6 ball here into the right hand side of the pocket as we look on the screen. From where I'm standing right now on the table, yeah, a bit to the right hand side of that, a bit left as well looking on the screen, but where I'm at the table it's just to the right. So I aim toward the right hand side of the pocket there to avoid hitting that 7 ball, because I know if I catch that 7 ball it's going to miss. So I just play high English to a touch of the left. Didn't quite hit this as well as what I would have liked. Maybe could have played like a little soft stun shot actually, looking back. So here I should punch across, maybe even use a side rail, but I think I just play just a little soft draw. Probably lost a cue ball slightly there. Yep, wasn't too happy with that. And these need to be pay attention on these. It's very easy to rush these shots and miss them. So make sure you stay down, keep your head still on these shots. Very important. That was a big rack there. I believe I'm on 23 racks now. So maybe 23 out of 23. And all I'm focused on now is really running all 30 racks. Out of 30 racks, I wanted to win 30-0 against the Ghost here. The Ghost in this particular case was a £4,000 match, so it was serious stuff with some pressure on it. But I knew that my opponent was well behind me, and it was just I knew I was going to win the match. Now I just want to finish it off in style. Probably the first player ever to win against the Ghost 30-0. So the key here is the 2 to the 3 is not too easy because you see the traffic. I don't want to come on the right hand side of the table because the 8 and the 5's in the way. The 7 ball's blocking me to get really close to the 3. The 9 ball's sort of in the way to come off the side rail. So very tricky, I've got to be very careful. I don't want to risk coming above the side pocket because the 7 ball comes into play. I could just top it, come around the back of the 6, but I'd be leaving a lot thinner and longer 3 ball than what I would like. Because ideally I just want to be getting just off straight on the 4 ball also to draw back for the 5. So where my hand is now, so I'm sort of aiming the cue ball towards the side pocket, but make sure I play it at a soft speed so I don't scratch in the side pocket. So I'm pretty happy with that. So you can see where I'm looking now, see where I want to be on the 4 ball. On the 3 ball here, I'll probably just play just below centre on the 3 ball. Hit it nicely, not too hard. And bit of right English also. Come maybe a bit too far into the middle of the table than what I would have liked. So now it's very hard to draw back in a straight line because there's too much angle and too much distance. So here, I can't just play follow with left because I'm more or less guaranteed to kiss into the 7 and the 8. And if I don't, I'll probably snooker myself behind the 8. So I'm gonna play like a punch draw here. Punch over to the side rail, just miss the 8, and come back out for the 5. So I need to put a really good stroke on this, really commit to the shot. And don't be worried about scratching in the side pocket. I mean, you've got to really get into the cue ball here to scratch, but also don't baby it. Because if you baby it, you kiss the 8 and the 5. And as it is, I played it perfect. So perfect on the 5 ball here. I'll just draw back, use the 8 ball also at the same time. So after making the 5, the cue ball will hit the 8 and just draw back out nicely for the 6. Nicely on the 6, pretty routine from here, but again a little bit careless there with the 7. So here we go. Ooh, nearly scratched there. Wasn't the best of breaks. Would have been a little bit unlucky to scratch when you come off the side rail. Probably put too much right spin on the cue ball there. Another pretty good layout. This game's all about the 5 to the 6, really. Yeah, I don't play the short side for the free here because of where the 6 ball is. So I'll probably just drop the free ball in here. Maybe just a touch of right English, like half a tip of right English, just to make sure I leave the right angle on the 4 ball into the side pocket. And currently on 24 racks, on 24 to 0. I sort of know at this stage I've definitely won the money match against Kurt Weaver. So now I'm just desperate to run 30 racks to run all 30 racks, win 30 to 0 against the Ghost. Yep, making sure I leave the right angle on the 5 ball. So now I play this with bottom right. Come 1, 2, 3, 4 rails. Just missed the 8 ball. Probably hit it a little bit too hard. Worked out pretty good. Flirted a little bit with the 8 ball there, which I didn't want to do. So here I'll probably play with follow and about a tip of left. A tip to the left of the cue ball. Just let that spin take off that second rail. Don't want to get straight on the 8 ball. Left a perfect angle. So now I'll just punch across. Maybe play just maybe quarter tip of right. Just maybe fractionally below the centre of the cue ball. Just like that. And landed nicely on the 9 ball. And this should make it 25-0. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the 9 ball I missed. Well, there's just totally lack of concentration. Hit the 9 ball into the rail. I don't know what I was thinking there. Just thinking can't miss it. And, yeah, took it for granted. Just that little lapse in concentration. And that's what can happen. And obviously you can see I'm very, very disappointed. I really wanted to play a perfect set. So just letting my frustration out before the next rack. A little scratch of the head there. Yeah, I'm one of them players that like to show my emotions, get it out, and then don't have to bottle it up. And get ready for the next game. Yeah, that was very disappointing after that long sustained period of intense concentration. Done all the work and then just have that little very careless on the 9 ball. Much better break there. It's like the perfect 9 ball cut break with a 9 ball on the spot. Pretty good layout here. So again, you want to try and make it as easy as you can to get on the free ball from the 2. So you don't want to be making the 2 in the corner and drawing up table. It's sort of a bit more difficult. Where here, I'll just take it in the left-hand side pocket, side pocket. Come in between the 5 and the 8. Yeah, even looks at that option. Just to leave the gap between the 4 and the 5, but that's not really the right shot, so I'll just play this with follow, come in between the 5 and the 8, come off the rail maybe a foot, 2 foot, just leave a nice little angle on the free ball, which gives me natural shape to the 4. So here, just play just above centre of the cue ball, touch of right English, maybe a tip and a half. Nicely on the 4 ball. I'll probably just draw the 4 ball back a few inches here. Yeah, just singe the cue ball. I had more angle there than what I wanted, so just killed the cue ball. Nice angle there on the 5, so I'd probably just punch this in. Touch of right English, maybe a tip of right English. Move the template. Probably got a little bit straighter here on the 7 ball, sorry, than what I would have liked. I could probably power force this in and come around the angles, but no need to. I just draw back. Just make sure I don't get jacked over the 9. Got through the cue ball really nicely there. And this is not too bad. I'll just draw across here just with a touch of right, maybe a tip of right. Don't get into the cue ball too much, just maybe halfway between centre and the bottom of the cue ball. Just let the spin do all the work, just like that. And this 8 ball here, probably just draw this in. You can rather punch this ball in or draw it. You have to be careful not to scratch if you're going to punch that. It depends where the object ball is in the cue ball. Well, a good rack there, good recovery, so that makes it 25-1. Lost the cue ball slightly, a bit flirted with the side pocket. And that results in a legal break. Didn't make the 3-point rule there. Oh no, I did. I made a ball on the break. I do apologise. I made a ball on the break and I got the 2 points past the head string. So pretty good layout here. So 1 good positional shot to the 2. Yeah, nice on the 2 ball. Now it's just connecting the dots really. This is the thing with any game, but rotation. If you control the cue ball and keep the game simple, the game really is simple. I mean, if you're cueing the ball decent, you got half decent fundamentals, but really work on your cue ball. And the game's all about cue ball. If you control the cue ball and make the game easy, then you have runouts like this, and you make the runouts look so easy. And that's the key. Where there's even a lot of professionals, they make easy runouts look really difficult, and they end up having to play crazy shots because their cue ball control's not very good, and their patterns are not very good, but they're great shot makers. But they're the guys who are not consistent and they don't win regular. Where all the top players who win on a regular basis, they all have really good cue balls, good patterns in general. And they're the guys who are the most consistent players. Because what happens when you're controlling the cue ball so well, you can get away with not feeling good, you can get away with playing your B game, even your C game, because you're not having to make tough shots. Every shot you make is an easiest shot. So even when you're not playing well, you're still going to make it. Where if you're having to keep playing tough shot after tough shot, and you're not feeling good or striking the ball well, then you're not going to be consistent, and you're going to make a lot of mistakes. So another good rack there, perfect run out, and that makes it 26-1. So there's 3 racks left. Another really good break here. Perfect cut break. Cue ball got kicked. There's nothing you can do about that. And got a really nice layout. Again, just connect the dots, play the right patterns, get on the right side of the ball. So here I want to be drawing back past the 3. There you go. Now I play the 3, come off 2 rails, come into the 4. And it'll be easy to get on the 5 that way. So I'll just draw this out, maybe a foot, 2 foot. Maybe a touch of right, low on the cue ball. Nice. So here, just play with the bottom left, maybe a tip of left, low on the cue ball, and just kill it. Don't hit that ball hard and not too soft. Nice on the 6, so I'll just punch this in with maybe a tip of left. So maybe centre above, just maybe below centre. come a little bit further across than what I would have liked, but it's okay. The 8-ball's laying nice. I'll just draw this back maybe 2 or 3 feet. Nice loose grip there. Got through the cue ball nicely. So here on the 8-ball, probably punch across, so it'd be just below centre with right. Yeah, maybe 2 tips of right there. And landed nicely on the 9-ball. Another rack in the books. I believe that's 27-1, sorry. So maybe 2 racks left. Another perfect break here. Perfect control of the cue ball. Take that every day of the week. And they're all laying pretty good. The only slight problem is probably this 6-ball to the 7. Not a massive problem, but it needs to be negotiated pretty well, because you don't want to get the wrong side of the 7 if you're going to play it in the side and having to kiss into the 9. So I really want to get on the 7 for the corner pocket. Yeah, maybe not a lot of angle here on the 4. But I'll probably just play 1 rail here, come down table, try and get to the centre of the table. Oh no, I had less angle than I thought, so I topped that off the 2 rails. So that was probably like a good tip. A tip of left eye on the cue ball. When you're playing those shots, never try to overspin them. I see so many players, even a lot of pros, trying to overspin that ball. So when it hits the second rail, it just doesn't take properly. Even the first rail, especially on brand new equipment, it just spins too much. And then you lose its natural speed and its natural path. So make sure that I got the cue ball well off the, just more straight in on the 6-ball here. I don't want to leave a cut on the 6, so this is all about feel. But again, don't quit on that shot. Just really feel it. So I just play that with bottom right and just hit it really, just a softish stroke on it. We're on the 7, so I'm just going to draw this back. Yeah, maybe played probably got into the cue ball a little bit too much there. Played a bit, probably flicked the 9-ball, which I thought I would do, and then that spin just really took then after the rail. So I've left this a little bit tougher than what I should have done, but should be no problem. Got a little angle on this, so I think I'll just try and draw across, but I think I'll just lose the cue ball a little bit here, I think. Yeah, that was a bad stroke, to be fair. I didn't put a good stroke on it. Sort of jerked at that one. And left myself a tougher 9-ball than what I would like. But it's very important with these shots. Take a look at the potting angle. Bring your hand up the cue. Make sure the tip doesn't hit the rail before you hit the cue ball. And stay down. Very important to stay down. Put a nice little stabby stroke on it. And if you stay down and do the basics right, you should make that ball every time. So I believe that's 28. Maybe this might be the last rack. Or maybe 2 racks. Again, another really good break there. Couldn't have hit them much better. Perfect spread. Probably the only thing I'm looking at here is like the 4, I believe, onto the 7, is it? Over the pocket. That, I don't really want to make them both, because I'd have to risk, maybe if I don't make them both, I might not get position on the 4-ball, because I'd have to hit that ball a little bit harder. And to make them both, I'd probably have to play like a little stun, like a punch run through, and then you're not guaranteed to get past the 9-ball with a cue ball. So, oh yeah, I didn't see the 2-ball over the corner pocket there, so yeah, it was more important to go down table there. Makes the positional shot a lot easier. So I'll probably just play like a little soft punch shot with a lot of left. Hit the ball pretty softly, so that'll come in between the 7 and the 6 there, I believe. So here I'll probably just play with follow. Just follow the cue ball in, try and get straight in on the 4 for the combination. Played that nicely. I don't actually want to make both balls here. No real need to. Things can go a little bit wrong if you try and be greedy, so I'll probably just play pocket speeder here. Yep. Just leave that 4 ball over the pocket. I wouldn't have minded it dropping actually, but with these shots, same again, just make sure you don't overpower the ball. And probably just draw out here, just use a rail, it just slows that cue ball down that little bit more. I see a lot of amateurs that just try and draw that directly from hitting the object ball, and that's very easy to overdraw the ball or lose position. So here, draw back off the rail, touch of right. Didn't quite get hold of it as the way I would have liked, but should be okay. Again, look at the potting angle, it's that little funny cut shot. So here, just play with follow and about a tip of right. Eye on the cue ball, tip of right. Good speed. Make sure the cue ball don't scratch. Nicely on the 9 ball, so I'll just draw this in. Make sure I don't get a skid. Just going to put the extension on the cue as I was stretching. I'm only quite small, like 5'8", 5'9". Don't want to be miscuing or losing balance. Another perfect rack, really. And now we come to the last rack. I'm up 28-1. So we'll make it 29 out of 30 racks. I believe that's probably the current record. So it'd been nice to finish this off. And I believe Kurt Weaver, I think he was 21-9, his final score from his 30 racks. So it was a comfortable victory, really. I sort of knew halfway through that I was going to win, but I really wanted to make sure that I run all my racks. So the key shot here is a 2 to the 3 to the 4. As you can see, the 4 doesn't pass the 5. Got to be careful that I don't get stuck behind the 6 with the cue ball. And if I come too far, obviously I'll be running away from the 5 from the 4. And if I come too short, then obviously I've got to play the 4 and kiss into the 5. So I really want it to be somewhere around there. Probably got like a 2-foot area to land in there. So again, this is where just that little soft draw punch shot there. Hit the ball nice and easy, about a tip of left on that shot. Just let the cue ball float up, real feel that shot. And I've landed perfect here on the 4 ball. Actually got a nice little angle as well. So just play this follow, maybe just a trace, just a very little touch of right English. Didn't really need to do anything there with the cue ball, just make the ball. So here, just a stop shot here for the 6 in the side. Yeah, play a little stun run through. So here, I'll probably do the same on the 6. Maybe just stop the cue ball where the 6 ball is. Leave a little angle on the 8, and then I can draw back off the side rail, past the side pocket for the 9 in the bottom left. And that will be all she wrote. So I'd like to thank you all for tuning in and watching. I hope you all learnt something about the cue ball. And keeping good concentration, good patterns, playing at a good rhythm. Taking your time on certain situations. And like I said before, if you control the cue ball, the game is, you make the game a hell of a lot easier. So there we go. Alright, thank you very much everyone, and a little fist bump to finish it.